I have had 8 attempts. So here we are, Unaliving Prevention and Awareness Month, and we're going to go into my stories. Remember, I'm not a professional, I'm not licensed. I'm just a human being who's been through it, who's going through it. And y'all have Google at your fingertips and you can educate yourselves at your leisure. But this is my story. So, once again, I've had 8 attempts. I'm still here, so they were unsuccessful, as we say. Heavy quotations on that. And like I say, for some people, we have that dark humor, right? We're still here out of spite because that means if I did it, I'd be quiet and I wouldn't be able to tell my story. I wouldn't be able to help other people. So even though I questioned so many things then, I now know that I continue forward. And so my first attempt, which usually that's where we start, is the most important thing. I was 14 years old. Now, I battled with anger. I battled with so many things. As a child of sexual abuse and SA, from years 2 to 6, and by 4 years it was began with penetration. And so I continued to deal with anger. I didn't know what was going on. And then I had a mother who was also a narcissistic, a physically abusive, verbally abusive, psychologically abusive. And so as an only child, I didn't have a lot to turn to. But I had anger. And even now, sometimes that's the first emotion that I go to because I'm human just like everybody else, right? I don't care how many years go by that my healing journey, and now my therapist, we're on the like once a month thing now, which is okay. If you've been through your therapy and you're down to once a month, right, after almost 10 years, trust me, that means you're here, you're doing something. And so what happened was one day I was getting ready to go to school and I couldn't clasp the back of my necklace that I was wearing. You're going to remember this was the late 1900s, so we had the gold chains, and this one particular one that had my name on it. I couldn't clasp it. And so I got so angry that I kicked the wall. Now, mind you, I had Timberlands on, right? Once again, late 1900s. So steel toe. And my foot went through the wall, left a hole about that big. And I was terrified because I was like, oh no, what is she going to do? And what she did was, after I came home from school that day, after she saw it, what she told me was, you can your throat or you can cut your, but you will never put a hole in a wall in my house again. And that's where my first attempt came from. A parent telling their 14-year-old child to literally unalive themselves. After that, I was in for about a month in the facility, and I did leave a note, and the note expressed why I was doing what I was doing, which said what she told me. And so when she came in to meet for the family day, she was so upset. She's a narcissist. She was physically abusive as well. And she just about jumped over that table. And to this day, I don't understand why she didn't have any charges or why she wasn't admitted. And you can't think about that stuff because that time has come and gone. But now, as 8 years walking away from that toxicity now, which is almost 20 years since it happened, right? About 25 years since it happened. That was the beginning of my journey with suicidality, which is a diagnosis, and I have that diagnosis along with other mental illnesses. I'll put some of them here because I know I've got some newbies, and it's important to understand that as an awareness month and as a mental health advocate, I'm here for that. Right? Her idea of wiping things off like any narcissist was materialistic. It was never like, let me put you in therapy so that way you can have a decent adulthood, opposed to going into adulthood thinking that all I deserved was physical abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse. So just understand that you're not alone. Understand that I have had my attempts. Understand that I am here to answer questions. Understand that I'm more than happy to continue to tell my story and respond to the comments because it's very, very important. And then I tell you, number one, if you feel like you have thoughts, make sure you seek appropriate help, right? If you know someone who is, then listen. Listen to understand and not to dismiss. Go to my playlist and read and listen to my poems and spoken words that I do because they give a lot of information of what it is. I cannot be your first point of contact because there's a lot of you, but you have to make sure that you have somebody because it is important. But if there's anything that I hope that can come out of this and telling this small part of my story, is that you know that you're not alone, that it's possible to survive, that it's possible to heal, that it's possible to thrive in life, and maybe even decide to tell your story too. Okay? You are loved and you deserve to be here. So remember, you're not alone. We're in it together. And I love you.